Immorals. All right, new
Great intro.
episode.
I feel like we have our intro song.
Maybe it was just some bullshit off the dome, but hey, we're back. Episode 4 of the Immorals. The last episode didn't go so good. I'm Chewy once again.
And this is Tony.
Yeah, you want to talk about last episode?
I feel like we need to explain to people what our process has been in order for them to understand. So you guys probably will realize that we went a week without an episode posting. And there's a reason for it. And that's because the last episode got out of hand.
Not only did it get out of hand, but the recording was pretty bad. For some reason, our audio didn't come clean, especially from your mic and the mic of our guests.
And our guest got significantly under the influence. And I think we're picking up on a pattern, True. Wouldn't you agree?
I'd say yes, we are picking up on it. Even despite the fact that me and you are drinking at the moment, we're not obliterated the way
oh my God.
our guests have been in the past.
Right. So you guys, we made the mistake. I'm gonna say we made the mistake of posting an episode where one of our guests, Marlon, got obliterated. Marlon. And was speaking over everyone else.
Marlon.
And then last week we had an episode with two of our guests that will very likely end up coming back. And we started with like a simple, like slight buzz kind of we're drinking. By the end of the episode, now granted, we were drinking and we were talking. It was 4 hours long.
Yeah, that recording went for 4 hours. Like, the conversations just kept going.
It flew. Like, it was flowing and the time flew. It was out of control, though.
We had a lot of and from Alex, because he was drunk, so he's like channeling his inner Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah. One thing that you gotta love about Alex, that you guys will get to see, maybe not, because we probably won't let him drink the same way, is Alex is gay, and when he drinks, he becomes straight, and it is hilarious.
He becomes his alter ego, straight Alex, and it's hilarious.
Super funny. That dude is hilarious. But the other thing that ends up happening when people drink is they miss a lot of the cues.
Oh yeah, lots of cues were missed.
So there's a lot of like setups for jokes that you expect someone to say something because this is a topic that they frequent or jokes that they've made in the past. So you do like slight handoffs. They're so drunk, they completely miss any social cues to talk more about this. Stop talking about that. Did you notice that this person said that? Completely oblivious.
Just let it slide. Like, flew right over their heads. Complete silence. Deer in the headlights. Like, nothing.
Nothing. Mics by their sides, which probably contributed to the bad audio.
True.
And just good conversation, but out of hand, to say the least.
Definitely out of hand. So we noticed episode 2 was a little bit of a disaster because of the intoxication that, this individual, Marlon, brought to the table. And then this last episode, the intoxication that our guests, Alex and Chris,
right?
Yeah, they kind of got a little tipsy and they kind of didn't pick up on cues. They kind of like, the flow just kept going up to a certain point. It was a little wild. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
It was wild. So we are picking up on the pattern that if we have guests, we're going to let them drink, but we're going to significantly moderate their alcohol intake in order to ensure that we can keep some level of order and control of the podcast to ensure that you guys get to enjoy a lovely episode.
Yeah, we want buzz, not trashed.
Yeah, and we want buzz, not trash. Not just
Yeah, but you know what? Let's move on into some of the stuff that we want to talk about today in today's episode 4.
Right. So my boy Chewy over here ended up going to a concert last night.
Not any concert, but
any concert.
The world's hottest tour. By the Bunny.
By the Bunny. Dude, this dude, like, I don't know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to say it that way. It's like, there is so much hype behind Homeboy. Like, it is ridiculous. But tell me about the concert. How did it go? What were the people like? And what was the experience?
It was fucking honestly, dude. It's one of the best concerts I've been to. The dude puts on a fucking show. Like,
checks out then.
yeah,
bro.
seriously. Now, before the show even starts, you got Diplo, which is a big DJ popping off, and I tagged you in the song Diplomatico, which is like one of our running anthems.
100%.
Dude played it. I felt it coming. I had my camera ready. I'm like, dude, this dude's gonna about to play El Buen Avicii and fucking El Diplomatico's coming. But the dude got the crowd going, got them hyped before Bad Bunny came out, dude. And then besides
warmed up the crowd.
Warmed up the crowd perfectly fine. Then after that, you got Bad Bunny coming out, putting on a show, singing a lot of his hits. But not only that, he brought out a shit ton of special guests with him that either sing songs with him or don't. He brought out like big reggaetoneros like Evie Queen. He brought like Chencho out, which is one of the dudes in one of his songs from his new album, Un Verano Sin Ti. He brought out Bomba Estéreo, this girl that does another song that's really popular. Brought out these other two dudes. Honestly, their names are slipping my mind right now.
But bangers, basically.
Bangers, dude. Just nonstop bangers all day. Played some of his old jams that were bangers. The dude just kept the crowd going with like hit after hit, like, and then not just the hit, but the energy, the lights, the fucking special effects, fireworks. Dude, it was a fucking vibe. It was an environment. It was everything, dude. It was fucking popping off. They had fucking dolphins flying around the crowd, and I mean like these little flying dolphins. At one point, the dude gets on an island with a palm tree, and the thing starts flying over the crowd. It's legit, dude.
I've seen social media. I've seen that island floating around.
The dude gets down.
That dude is all the hype right now. Like at the gym, right now I am seeing all of the people rocking Bad Bunny shirts. Like they're either buying Bad Bunny shirts or they're going to the tour, and they need the world to know that they went to this concert.
No, dude, the shirts, the merch, expensive as fuck, and it doesn't look anything special. It's just the fact that you're buying it there. Right. I guess it's like limited edition merch that's only designated to the concerts. $50 a shirt.
Smart.
Another shirt that had like some special design that was only for the LA concert. $120.
How many did you buy?
I bought none. My girlfriend, on the other hand, she bought a few and then bought some friends some fews, a few of them. So, she probably dropped like 200 some bucks on merch.
Nice. I mean, not for nothing. It's all a hype right now,
It is, dude. Homeboy's putting on a show. We're actually... Today is October 1st, and LA officially dubbed it Bad Bunny Day. So today we're on the middle of Bad Bunny Day.
Bro, I've actually heard that there's a class. I want to say it's Redlands University or something.
No, San Diego State has a Benito class on Bad Bunny, yeah.
Dang, gangster, right? Like official, you can get credit by studying Homeboy.
Big time, dude. That's ridiculous. You never thought that would be possible, that they would have a class like on a reggaetonero like this,
Yeah. Dude saw the hype. Must have been all kinds of energy at the show.
The energy was ridiculous in the show, but what made they put the cherry on top in this, dude? We've all heard of PDA, and there's plenty of PDA, public displays of affection going around, a little ass grabbing, kissing, dancing on each other, twerking, girls twerking on each other.
No doubt. The songs
it was popping. The songs get down. It's high energy a lot of times, so everybody's popping off. There's fucking
more recent like Homeboy.
There's weed in the air. There's drinks going out, flowing.
Boom.
So things popping off, but there's also another form of PDA, witness, and that's public displays of aggression. Do you ever see couples fight in public, and does it not seem funny to you, or do you feel uncomfortable? Because
I think that depends.
Because it depends, but like to me, it's like they're not okay. I don't know the couple, so to me, it's kind of funny unless it gets to a certain degree of aggression. But like, there's this couple that sat next to me and Chris. They came in, and from the very beginning, the moment they get in, homegirl had like a face already, like fuck, like just pissed. I don't know what was going on, but they sit down. The only thing I remember hearing is they legit had the seat next to me and like the two seats next to me. Homegirl comes in and she's like, "Oh, the dude's like, oh yeah, we have 7 and 8," and then she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna sit there." Blah, blah, blah. She kind of like just attitude from the beginning with the homeboy. They sit down, and then she just has like a pouty face, like serious, like Diplo's getting down, and she don't give a fuck.
Okay, all right. So to answer your question to start off with, I think it depends, right? Like obviously, if I'm watching a couple that I don't know, like you were watching a couple that you don't know, I'm the biggest chismoso in the world. I'm paying attention to what's happening. I'm trying to read body language, trying to pick up on social cues. Like I'm trying to see what she's looking like, what he's doing, what his body language, what her body language is doing. I'm trying to pick up on all of that, and I'm almost moving less in order to be able to pay attention more.
Oh, as we were as well, bro. We even like I post for pictures for Chris so she could take pictures of the girl. And dude, we have pictures of these girls' face. Like you can tell she was whisper yelling at this dude. You know how bad this is gonna be?
Her teeth, like where she's not opening her mouth, but she's like through her teeth, like yelling, like, "Why did you do that?"
Not even to that point, but like she's just like literally not through her teeth, but she's like yelling at him in a low voice, like right at him.
Explain.
She like I look over. I look over. And she's like, and you're like, holy crap.
Like your mom at church.
Yeah, like you're at church.
When we get home,
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? How can you be? You're at a freaking concert. You're at the Bad Bunny concert. These seats are expensive as fuck. Why are you so mad? Did you pay for them? Or did homeboy tell you, yo, I got good seats and we're in the nosebleeds, bro? But even then, we fucking had a great view.
Right. Okay, so let's break down their argument and then we can go back to what that's like, right? So like for them, do you think with them she was in a mood because she didn't want to be there and homeboy dragged her there? Or do you think he probably promised her some level of experience and she wasn't feeling like she was receiving that? Or do you think it was that maybe something happened beforehand and now she's in a mood and there's no undoing that mood?
I feel like something happened beforehand. One, the dude was like just taking it like a champ. Just serious face, like nodding.
Like
he would kind of comment back with like a one word or two.
And that one word or two, was it passive, like, no, you're right, kind of thing? Or like,
it seemed passive. I can't hear him. Honestly, a lot of times I was trying to catch what he was saying, but you can't because it's fucking loud as fuck in there.
I feel like anytime there's couples where one person is more disagreeable than the other, the only way those couples survive is when one of them is passive, right? Like
I get that. Yeah, one of them kind of has to take the brunt of it.
Right, like one of them has an attitude, and the other one is just like, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, my bad." Because if you get too aggressive,
just compromise.
Constant conflict, though, right? Like when there's two people that, like, she's popping off, and he's like, "Well, I didn't tell you to sit there. I didn't tell you to sit there. Why don't you just sit down? Enjoy that." Like, if it's that, you're always gonna be fighting.
And that's the other thing that kind of threw me off, is because homegirl was enjoying her fucking time when Bad Bunny was out there. She was dancing, singing. Homie was kind of just standing there, like maybe homie doesn't like Bad Bunny. He kind of moved a little bit from time to time, but he was one of those dudes that was just kind of there.
Right.
And then she was having a good time singing, but before that, dude, she just seemed like pissed.
Jesus. Can you imagine just being around someone who's constantly in a bad mood? Like, everything, they just shit on everything?
I couldn't stand it, dude. You can't be around negative people like that.
It ruins every experience.
And not just that.
Every day. When you wake up and the first thing that you do is like, God, I'm pissed.
Dude, if they live for that shit, you have to move on, bro. You gotta cut it.
You don't even have to have a romantic people like that.
Oh, no, your friend, family, doesn't matter. You have to fucking be like, yo, I'm out. Yeah. I want the least amount of this. Right. I'm just gonna cut it to the least amount. Like,
limit it to a degree.
Limited interactions with this person, whether they're a coworker, your boss, your sister, brother, cousin, 100%. Mom, dad, boyfriend, significant girlfriend, doesn't matter. Wife, husband, done.
Yeah.
Like if it's your wife or husband, you gotta fucking. I feel like at that point you're like, dude, I can't keep living like this because it's a daily thing. You wake up, sleep with them, you know.
Yeah. Like it's probably what you said. Like something must have happened. But can you imagine if you're a homeboy and like if she's hyped over this when Bad Bunny was there? That means he probably bought the tickets as a like let's say hypothetically bought these as a gesture of like, here, I'm doing something nice, and for him to take, like, to have to eat dicks the entire night, and for her to, like, Bad Bunny comes out and she's hyped just for that time, but every other time around that, before and after, she's got an attitude, that's heartbreaking.
That has to be crushing, dude, bro. Right? It has to crush. It has to crush you, like, especially if you're buying it to, like, make her day or something, like, dude, that's got to be bad. And she's just complaining the whole time. But not just that. Look,
But there's a lot of couples like that, guys and girls.
Dude, speaking about another couple, at the same concert, concert's over, and before the concert started, we got there early because Chris wanted to buy merch.
Right.
So we got there early, and when we went up to the upper section, the merch area was pretty empty. Down in the lower levels, there was like big lines. When I went up to the top, short lines. I give her a call because she's already in one of the lines downstairs, and I go, come up here. Lines are short. There's like 4 people in front of me. She comes up. I let her get in line. I go piss, come back, and then she's like third in line. She gets her stuff. We go back. One of her friends is like, oh, can you give me one of the exclusive shirts from Me Too, the I Love LA with the Bad Bunny, Un Verano Sin Ti heart?
Right.
All right. And she's like, you want to go? You want to be a nice person? Let's go be nice people. Let's go. We go down there. The line, I shit you not, before the concert, before Bad Bunny took the stage, the line, I shit you not, wrapped around the stadium, it seemed, bro. It seemed infinite. I kept looking, and I walked down the path, and I just didn't see an end to it, because I'm like, I'm not about to walk around the stadium to see where this line ends.
Absolutely. I was wondering, you looked a little cross-eyed.
But that's besides the point. When the concert ends, the line's not that bad. There's like 10 people per line, or 12 to 15 people in a line. So we run, we get into one of the shorter lines. We decide to wait because she wants to buy a shirt she didn't get and then hook up her homegirl, and
Dope. Nice.
So we're in line, and then I know Chris loves the cheese man. Couple next to me, bro, arguing. Bro is giving his girl like shit about something. Right. So I kind of started picking up on what he's saying, and he says something down the lines like, I don't know why you got to get so emotional about the music. And the girl's like, well, I just cry, I just got so emotional about certain things. And I'm like, well, that made me feel like, blah, blah, blah. Like they're just kind of going back and forth.
What did he say it made him feel like?
Like it's like, it made me feel like shit. You kind of can't pick up because there's a lot of conversations, and I'm not, and I literally just got out of the concert. I'm fucking half deaf in this bitch.
Okay.
So I'm trying to pick up what he's saying, and it's somewhere down the lines of, she started crying over some songs, and I guess her emotions got the best of her. She said like, oh, just like certain songs get to me, blah, blah, blah. And then
it sounds like insecurity from homeboy.
Dude is completely insecure in this process. Yeah. Maybe he brought her over. It's his lady. I don't know. Maybe a girl he likes, and maybe it was this.
No, it's gotta be his girl. For you to be like, I don't like I wasn't there, but I am assuming that it was something like,
100% it's his girl.
He's like, you get so hyped over homeboy that it makes me feel significantly like less attractive.
So my point is like, maybe dude got mad because a couple of times he's like, ¿Dónde están las solteras? And a bunch of girls, woo! And even Chris went, woo! And I don't care because she told me she didn't do it. I don't give a fuck. At one point he said, ¿Dónde están los solteros? And I was like, woo! It's part of the show. I don't give a fuck. Sure, no, but like me and her, we knew what was going down. But I'm like, was it that? And then Chris is like, no, there's this song where he talks about an ex. And then I'm like, maybe homegirl started crying for that song. And dude took it back.
There's like the Mariah Carey song, right? Like,
right. So I'm like, oh, damn, maybe she took it. Maybe he took it. She started bawling at that song. And dude's like, whoa, why are you crying over why are you getting so emotional for this song? Right. So, the conversation kind of went like that. And after that, they were just kind of like bickering back and forth amongst each other. And you could just tell it's a back and forth. And then I kind of look over, and at one point, they're like just standing there pissed off, not saying anything as we progress through the line. We're down to like 3 people in front of each one of us because they're in the line next to us. And they're like, haven't said a word. Me and Chris get to the front where we're buying shirts.
That's my favorite, by the way. When you get so mad at each other that you just silence, bro. Silence. But then like, you don't look at each other. You don't talk. You even control how you breathe because you don't want to give the other person a reason to tell you some shit.
Yeah, dude, Chris tells me she looked over and she would see them just standing there like not even looking at each other. Like homeboy's looking straight into the merch, homegirl's like looking to the side, and then when we get to the front, I look over and homegirl is gone. It's just dude by himself, still looking pissed, and homegirl is like nowhere to be seen. Like I looked around, I'm like, she just bounced. I don't know what happened, but homegirl's gone. So I mean, how do you see that? Like, just couples fighting. Like I said, PDA, public displays of aggression.
That's rough, right? Like, so I think it 2 things. I think it's a young person thing to do that because I feel like when you're younger, your emotions run you a lot more. But I feel like, well, truth be told, I guess it's emotional intelligence ranges because we all have moments of not having control of our emotions, right?
Yeah, we all do.
Especially if alcohol's involved, which I'm figuring that was probably the case at
a concert, yeah.
Like that, right?
Alcohol, drugs, something was going on.
Yeah, so like that amplifies things, right? So, but I think it's one to me. I try not to do that as much as possible. It just feels like I don't want to be the butt of the joke. I don't want to be the guy that you guys are looking over at as I'm fighting, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to accomplish anything. Chances are you're probably not going to be able to have a conversation about it. And then also, like, I don't know, it just...
And again, I'm missing...
I don't see how you come out winning in a situation like that.
And again, it's a public display, so you don't get the whole picture. You just kind of get what you kind of hear.
Right.
And then what their body language says. But you know, another problem with the concert, dude, so much... I saw this nonstop throughout the concert. People in the wrong section, bro. Like, how do people not know how to read?
Oh, I think they do it on purpose to try to get better seats.
No, like, we're talking same row, same seats, different section. Like, bro, how do you, like, when we came up, I'm like, when we came up the steps, I saw and it said 534 to the left, 533 to the right. Hey, we're 533, row 14. Walk up, seats 5 and 6. Sat down, we're perfectly fine. How many people were in our section arguing with other people whose seats they belong to, saying, no, this is 534. And then I'd be like, excuse me to interrupt. This is section 533. I had to be the good Samaritan / asshole to shut them down because they were just trying to argue with people whose seats they actually belong to.
I'd have popcorn and I would watch from afar.
I watched long enough, but then at one point I intervened.
Right. So you talking about intervene. Like, there's one thing about arguing, you and your significant other arguing in public. What about when your significant other argues with someone in your family and they're at your house? So, like, I have a couple friends whose significant others don't get along.
Okay.
Right? But let's
both their significant others don't get along.
Both of their significant others don't get along. So they have to limit interactions with each other in order to keep their significant others cool. But let's say, hypothetically, instead of it being friends, let's say it was your mom. How about it's your mom? Let's say your girl and your mom beef it. How are you handling that situation?
It depends on the situation, right? You kind of have to take everything into account. So, like, with your friends, why do their significant others beef? Was there like something that happened in the past, or?
I think with that one, it's hard to put into context because I think it was a layering effect. They were around each other a lot in that they lived in the same place, and
that can cause a lot of problems living in the same place.
Yeah, and they just spent a lot of time with each other, so there was multiple miniature interactions that led to a major outburst where things were said, and I feel like people aren't good at it.
I feel like a lot of times women in particular can be very passive aggressive, so I'm sure there's a lot of that going on, especially living with each other.
Yeah, I can't speak to that.
But I'm saying that maybe that's what's going down. But like, just to go back to the question,
right? So let's say,
I would say, okay, the only reason you kind of have to give it to somebody or the other, right? But you have to understand, you got to lay your cards on the table and see what deck you're playing with, because if, let's say, your mom is being disrespectful to your significant other, at one point you got to kind of check your mom. Like, I know you're my mom, but why are you disrespecting her like that? Like, that's not right? That's not fair to her. And then, lay out the scenario. And if it's the other way around too, like if your girl, your significant other was dissing your mom, like being rude to a certain extent, you kind of have to check her too and be like, yo, that's my mom. There's no need to talk to her that way, or et cetera, et cetera. You kind of, especially if you have to take the whole situation into perspective. I'm not in that situation, so it's kind of hard to speak of, but if I were in that situation, you kind of have to just take what's going down into play.
That's super fair. I think that's a good approach. I would also say that I feel like no matter what's happening, I feel like when you're the middle person, you have to be the middle person no matter what. Meaning, like, you have to jump in and intervene, regardless of who's at fault, and squash the beef, right? Like,
oh yeah, 100%. You have to be the mediator of this quarrel and squash it as soon as you can.
Yeah, I feel like taking sides, regardless of who's right and who's wrong, you end up losing. So you almost have to be, let's bring peace to the situation by squashing it without taking sides.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I mean by like you have to call somebody out is like if there is actual like aggression towards somebody, your significant other, from your mom or towards your mom, be from your significant other, you kind of have to bring that up because you can't just be like, hey, we're gonna keep it chill. No, you have to speak of the situation, be like, hey, you said this and that. It might have been because of this and that, but like, yo, let's like cut it. Like you said, let's try to bring the peace. But you have to bring up the aggression. You have to.
I feel like that's fair. There's aggression, like literal aggression. I feel, or disrespect. I do feel
disrespect.
Yeah, I do feel like you do have to like call attention, like, well, that probably wasn't fair, and then like try to bring the peace. I feel like the rough thing when it comes to that is like if you lean too much to one side versus the other. Like, you know what? You kind of talk to my mom funky, or you know what? You talk to my significant other kind of funky. Like, I don't know if that's cool. Like, I feel like there's gonna be such hurt feelings if you lean too much one way or the other, right? Like, you have to be like,
Yeah, and at one point you have to figure out why did you say those things? Was there something that triggered you, and is it valid? You know?
Yeah. I don't know if that's always the best place to do it in the middle of the argument when the emotions.
Oh no, but I mean, after the arguments happens is when usually the conversation is when the conversation sparked, and then the mediation has to happen is after the whole incident. Mostly like it's a day after, and they're already like separated in different places, etc. You know. And most of the times, I feel like, well, not in my situation. I don't think in your situation either. But there's a lot of situations, especially with Hispanic moms, where when it comes to like a boy, they tend to be pretty like protective. Yeah.
Sure.
So I could see that, but you know, I think there's like a rule I've always kind of had, or not even a rule, but like a concept I've always kind of had is that when it comes to family and friends, like I expect my family and friends to like accept whoever I'm with, whether they like them or not. They could tell me, yo, I don't like them because of this and that, but at the end of the day, I would expect like my friends and family, which a lot of my friends are like family to me, to accept. But if the shoe's on the other foot, we're like my significant other's like, nah, fuck your cousin Tony or fuck your friend, blah blah blah. I don't like him at all. I don't want you hanging around with him. Then that would be like a problem, right?
Sure. No.
The other way around, yo, you gotta accept. The other way around is like, yo, nah, fuck you. Like, what the fuck's the problem, you know?
Right. No, I think that's super fair, and I think that's something that we've always followed. Our significant others are under our protection almost, right? Like, nobody does or says anything about anybody when we're with them for that reason.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's no need to attack them because of the same. They have to have they have respect for you enough respect for you to just accept the person you're with.
Right.
Unless they completely disrespect your friends or family, and at that point, that's when you kind of turn it on your significant other. That's my perspective, and that's the way I would go about things. I have gone around them.
You have gone around them?
No, I have gone about it that way too.
Oh.
I mean, Chris doesn't have any problems with it, but like in previous girls that I kind of dated, when they had beef, I was like, nah, deuces.
Who haven't they liked?
Oh, friends, you know?
Oh,
or you know,
certain ones of your friends.
Yeah.
Which of your friends haven't they liked?
Mine. That's like in the past, so it doesn't really matter anymore.
So why not bring it up?
I'm just saying I've done it in the past where I cut ties with people because they didn't like certain friends, and I was like, they're my family, you out.
Okay.
You know, when I was just dating, it's not like it was a serious relationship to begin with. You know.
Sure. No, that's super fair. You know something that I've noticed? There's this new store that opened up next to the gym.
Right, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of these discount stores that they have like a different price for items every single day. So I've noticed this week it's been wild, like ridiculously wild. Like the line through the roof. You would think they were buying Bad Bunny merch. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I saw the video you posted. Oh, you sent me through Instagram. That thing was that line wrapped around in front of the gym. I'm assuming behind around the side.
It's super early too. Like, it's crazy. People, I show up to the gym at 5 in the morning. There's people posted up already. Like, they're ready to go at 5 a.m. That's crazy. Store doesn't open until like 8:39, something like that. So crazy lines. But what it is one of these discount stores that have like pallets from like Amazon or Target, and they have all the items laid out. It's a little bit like Goodwill, where they're spread out all over the place and you walk through and kind of collect stuff. I will say I came up, so I had to check it out, right? Like, how do you not go check it out?
Yeah, you have to. If you get a chance to get in and avoid that huge line, if it already cut down.
Absolutely. So I went today. I had a baby shower to go to, which I didn't attend, but I had a baby shower to go to. And you gotta buy a gift, right? Like, so you gotta buy a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
So I walked in, they had diapers and wipes and like kid stuff, right?
Solid.
Dude, bought 3 items for the baby shower, delivered it, right? Then went to Target to buy the bag, like to be able to buy the bag to put it in.
Yeah.
Got things like half price. I can see why the line is there. So to me, I almost didn't want to talk about this because of the stigma behind it. And I was like, these items are brand new, but it is one of these things that I stopped and consider how funky we are about stuff and how there's stigma behind brands and where you get things in secondhand stores and that kind of stuff. And it's pretty wild to me how we've been so conditioned around brands, right? Like, you gotta buy it from the mall.
I feel like that kind of stuff mattered more as teenagers, because now as an adult, I can give two shits, bro.
I think that's
personally
just you, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just you. I think a lot of people still care. Like, image is so important to people. Of like, I need to buy brand this. I need to have the newest that. Like, I need to keep up with the Joneses. Like, one of the things that you hear people do all the time is stay at places that they hate because they obligate themselves with debt in order to impress people that they don't like. And it's a very common thing.
Which brings back the whole Fight Club situation, right? Brad Pitt's character, we work jobs we don't like. Tyler Durden. We work jobs we don't like so we could buy shit we don't need to impress people
that we don't like.
That we don't like, don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But it's wild because it is a thing that happens. And it's so much of like trying to keep up with the Joneses constantly.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's wild to me how that's the case. And I don't know, like every now and then when you run into stuff like that, like I legit consider not even saying anything during the podcast because I'm like, what if they trip? Dude, the boxes were unopened. And yet there's this like, oh.
I mean, there's no, to me it's like, okay, hey, you're getting something that's considered higher quality. And I could see it when it comes to brand stuff because of quality versus other shit that might be knockoffs that might be less quality. Mm-hmm. So I could see that sometimes, but to a degree, yes.
I would agree with that.
I see it, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's clothing, I can see it to a degree.
Yeah.
But you're telling me it's brand stuff that's literally just being sold at half the price because it's probably overstock or might be like last season's whatever.
Or something. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It could be like yeah, I've heard that it's like pallets full of shit sometimes. And I haven't been personally, but you have. And that's what I've kind of heard of it. And honestly, I wouldn't care. It's the same company.
The same thing.
Great product. What does it matter what you paid for it? It's still a gift because they didn't pay shit for it.
Right. Or where I got it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
It
shouldn't matter.
Unopened.
It shouldn't matter.
It is very unique, right?
If I find a Gucci bag at Goodwill, will people care?
I wouldn't, Chewy. Especially you wearing a Gucci bag.
Exactly. It's a satchel.
It's a satchel. You're Indiana Jones.
I'm Indiana Jones in this bitch. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, does it matter? The name brand is still there, which is what a lot of people care about.
Right.
Yo, I walk in there and I see a pair of Crocs. I don't wear Crocs. People like Crocs. They buy Crocs.
Sure.
You get them at the Croc store for like what? What are they running? I don't know. Fucking $50-$60, and you get it at that place for $20. Why would they care? They're still Crocs. Mm-hmm. Would anybody seeing you wearing them know where you got them?
Yeah, people trip, dude.
Yeah,
dude. Truth be told, my normal clothes, I shop it at a lot of like the Burlington Coat Factories, TJ Maxx, Ross, like those spots.
My entire outfit, Target, bro.
All day.
Hey, I'm a big fan. It's simple, it fits, it's cheap, it's affordable. Hey, I like it.
Yep, I'm with it.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, it's not that big of a deal, man. So I'm feeling you. So another thing I want to talk to you about is like, let me give you a hypothetical. What if you were given 24 hours to live? Like, what would you do? Like, how would you wild? What would you do? What would you do? I want to know what you would do. I like how
you started with, would you wild out? Like, obviously, there's gonna be some degree of wilding out, right? Like, how do you?
Yeah, what do you do? Like, and then you're given 24 hours to live, so you're guaranteed that in 24 hours you're a goner.
Okay. So there's that Simpsons episode. Do you remember seeing that Simpsons episode where he like eats sushi and you're gonna die?
That's right. He gets the bad cut.
Yeah, and he has like this whole list of things that he wants to accomplish, and instead the loser ends up spending it with like his family. You know, like talks to Bart.
That's right.
What a fool!
What a waste of time. What a waste of time, Homer.
So I think I want to answer your question with a question. How many times do you think you would jerk off during that time?
I mean, you got to start off with that, right?
Super
like
fair.
You said, what, doctor? What, am I being inappropriate in public? Sir, what are you gonna do,
sir? I have 24 hours to live. I gotta get in as many of these as I can.
Right? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, like, so you obviously.
All right, here it is, doc. I'm the doctor.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Lopez. We have a situation here.
You wanted me to come up with a sample, right? I'm on it, sir.
No,
Give me
sir.
a second.
Sir, hold on. I'm gotta talk to you about something very serious here.
I am almost
you know what?
There.
Hold on. let me switch it. It's gotta be a British doctor.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cut it and replay. Right. So let's talk about the situation. Doctor comes up to you because you don't even know you have 24 hours to live.
No, I went in for a regular checkup.
Your regular checkup. He comes in.
Here sitting on the table.
All right. Doctor comes in. It's like, all right, sir. I'm gonna have to talk about this situation here. It's very serious, and I really don't know how to break it down to you, sir. But it says here.
You wanted me to come up with a sample, right? Like a sample? I'm working on it right now.
Well, sir, please put your penis away. That's very inappropriate. For starters, you're here for a physical. I don't know what kind of sample you're trying to give me.
I'm physically trying to create a sample here for you.
Well, sir, I have very bad news for you. You have a very, very serious disease. It's very rare. And you have 24 hours to live. It says here that...
Oh, thank God.
Well, I didn't expect that answer. But sir, by 12 p.m. tomorrow noon, you'd be a goner.
Oh, wow. So first of all, I don't have to pay for this visit then. Is that what you're saying?
No, your insurance card is still on file, so we're getting paid.
God damn it. Okay. 24 hours for sure, dead.
Yes, sir. This record, this test we just ran it's never wrong. You're going to die in 24 hours. Guaranteed.
All right. So, wow, that's crazy. I'm a little bit in shock. Are we talking about like drop dead? Like, let's say I stay awake. Will I just die? Or are we talking about like a little bit of Marvel movies, like I'm going to turn into dust? What kind of dying am I going to do?
Oh, no, it's going to be excruciating pain within the last hour. You're just going to start feeling it, if you know what I'm saying. And next thing you know, your heart's just going to stop.
Okay. You're giving me a lot to think about. I'm going to blitz out of this room.
Sir, can you please stop masturbating?
Wait, you said I have 24 hours to live. Obviously, I got to get in as many of these as I can.
Okay, but...
This is how I deal with trauma, okay?
So you just been giving your death sentence, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing as soon as you get out of that office?
So I'm running out, obviously, and I think, if I'm being honest, I think the first thing is you try to spend as much time as possible with the people that you care about. So I think what I would do is I'd spend some time with Bells, and then you gotta shoot some videos and write some letters and stuff.
Little Tony Stark action?
Yeah, like a little bit of that, but also for moments in time. I think what I would do is be like, so you're gonna go to prom, I want you to da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, you're going through heartbreak, da-da-da-da-da-da. I want you to remember this. I want you to think about that. Like, you're probably struggling with your career. That are like, I have moments in time where I would record videos telling her advice of stuff that I've known and reminding her how amazing she is, right? Like in moments of weakness to have some level of support there. So I would spend a chunk of time making a lot of those videos, like play this, like break in case of emergency, but break in case of heartbreak, break in case of you're gonna get married, break in case of you're gonna have a kid.
So you just lost 30 minutes of your time.
100%. I'm chatty and I'm fast, bro. You know,
no, but...
I might not be good. I tell women this all the time. I might not be good, but at least I'm quick.
I get the job done. No, but I mean, actually, that's a pretty solid idea because you have a daughter, and that makes a lot of sense because you would want to give that advice if you're going to be out of the picture.
But things that I would do for myself, right? So like now. Right. You take care of all of the significant others, the friends and family, the, you know, like for me, bells. Now you gotta you get to go to the selfish part. What selfish thing are you gonna look forward to? What do you want to do?
It sucks because I would want to travel to places I've never seen, and 24 hours isn't enough.
That. You're gonna lose time in the plane. Not worth it.
It's fucking insane. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably do all the crazy drugs I always want to do. What's the point? I'm going to die?
See if you could cut the time in half. Fuck you, you guys were wrong. I died in 12.
Yeah, exactly. Get wild, bro. Get as wild as you can. Go to...
Drugs, though? Drugs?
Not just drugs, but like try to experience everything around, you know.
For example?
Fuck, man. I'm in a situation... I don't even know.
I'm in a situation. That's what you said. I think if I had to do something like
drive down to TJ, go to Hong Kong.
That's not
I'm
how
just playing. You lose 2 hours. You lose 2 hours.
You lose 2 hours. That's a waste of time. And getting back, you're wasting way more time.
Yeah.
So it can't be a stop. That's where you finish.
Yeah.
That's where you finish.
It's all a bus, bro. It's all a bus.
It's a bus. Yeah, I can see that as like the end. But before then, like, is there a restaurant? Is there an experience? Is there an event? Something that you would want to do that you've never done? But
that's the thing. Everything is got to be out of place. It's so out of the way. And events happen like in certain situations or certain times of the year. So if you're given, it depends on what time of the year it is. And like, what do you really want to do? At that point, I'm like, do I take out like huge loans and like I buy things and do stuff for certain people in my life, and then like you're not gonna have to pay for it. I'm already gonna be gone, so
right.
You know,
good to go.
They're good to go.
Okay. That's a really good one. You know what's funny? Like I know we joke in comedy. At the end, it feels very Homer-ish.
Right,
like,
you kind of have to fall back.
Spending all of the time with your friends and family.
Are you gonna be like that dude that's like, oh, what are you gonna do if you win the lottery? Cocaine and hookers.
It's true, but it feels very like Homer-ish. That like at the end, like you end up, it's the little things that end up making you the most happy that you stop and appreciate.
Yeah, you have to do that stuff. I mean, you kind of have to say like your final goodbyes to people that you've been cool with your whole life.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I myself have wilded out already plenty. I was, fucking, my 20s were pretty wild. So I did all kinds of crazy shit.
Right.
And so to that extent, it's like, it's mostly travel. And if I can't do it within 24 hours, it's mostly like do crazy shit with your family and friends that you never get to experience. Fucking max out credit cards. What are they going to do? Right? You're gone.
Yeah. I feel you. I do think that like in moments like that, I think it's the simple pleasures at the end of the day, like, right? Like watching the sunset, like having dinner with family, friends, going to visit your parents, that kind of stuff.
There it is, dude. Why not throw the biggest bash? Set up a big bash.
Super fair.
Right? But no expenditure. Get a fucking salon that same day. And fucking, you're gonna throw a rager, all night rager, bro. You're dead the next day at noon.
How do you die, Chew? For real though. All right, so like, I love the idea. How do you die? So you're gonna die, right? So it's midnight. You're dead. You're Cinderella of corpse, right? So how do you die? Do you lay down, take a nap, and go meanies and not wake up?
No, you walk into an elementary school and you go, "Hey kids," dressed.
Traumatize everybody.
Traumatize everybody.
Hey
no,
guys, I have a magic trick, but I can only do it once.
Exactly. Now this magic, everybody gather. I have one magic trick. It's not good. I can only do it one time, dude.
That's wild. Like, for real, how do you go out? Do you go out like, I'm gonna take a nap? Do you go skydiving and die that way? Do you climb a mountain and then you watch the sunset with friends and family and loved ones? Do you drink so much?
I think at that point, the skydiving thing is pretty solid. You go skydiving with friends. You're the only fucker with no tandem dude and no back and just jump. And you're gonna die midair. Uh-huh. Let's say it's like 15 minutes before death. You jump out. Before you hit the ground, you're already dead. Just gather my pieces, burn them up, spread my ashes.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing that story? I think it was in one of Bill Burr's comedy specials, where Homeboy was like given 6 months to live.
No. I don't. Remind me.
All right. So I'm gonna butcher this. This is a bit that Bill Burr did, and it's a true story of something that happened. Right. So there's this. There's helicopter rides that go around of like. Talking about like scenery, this is Catalina Island, that kind of thing, right? Like it's a full-on tour that you get on a helicopter for, and you get to explore the island, and the full driving it gives you like history about it. So a father-son, or like a father had a business, handed it over to his son. The first person that he took on this tour was an old dude that had 6 months to live.
Oh shit, okay.
Right? And the dude jumps out the fucking helicopter in the first tour. Like, giving the tour, the dude jumps out because he had 6 months to live and he decided to take life into his own hands.
Like, I'm going out my way.
On my terms. On my fucking terms. Like, when you're talking about jumping without a parachute, that's basically what he did. So, Homeboy jumps out. Can you imagine being the dude driving the helicopter? This is the first time you're doing it by yourself, and the fool jumps?
Shit, how do you explain that to your boss? Right. Let's go back and be like, the old man that was with me,
right?
Just jumped out.
Opened the door, jumped out.
I think we need to lock those doors.
You know what's crazy about it, though?
Yeah.
Dude survived.
Oh, fuck.
Can you imagine you jump out of the helicopter?
Now you gotta spend your next 6 months in a fucking body cast cam move.
I know, but...
And you're dead in 6 months.
Imagine you're the dude with 24 hours. You smash and stay alive for another 30 minutes.
That's why I say you gotta jump within the last 15 minutes of your life. Like, you gotta time this shit perfectly.
But even then, like, what if you die on the air? You gotta have a little bit of a cushion, right? So even with 15 minutes, have you tried sprinting for 1 minute? That's a long time, dog. 15 minutes of excruciating pain? That would suck.
Hey, but you're falling. That's free falling. It's got to be an experience, right?
100%. So, selfishness-wise, I think skydiving might be one of the things that I would do. But I think, truly, my final answer is going to be Homer Simpson. I think when you remove it's almost like brands, dog. Like when you stop and consider brands, right?
Yeah.
When you remove all of the fluff from the world, at the end, it's like friends and families and memories is really the thing that I would want to spend the last 24 hours with, to like maximize those little moments one last time that you take for granted on a day-to-day basis. Like me waking up and interacting with Bells, or daddy-daughter days. Those kinds of things become so repetitive that it's so easy to take them for granted or not appreciate.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think that's why, like I said, you know what, man, throw a big-ass bash.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Have everybody celebrate your life, whatever, or celebrate each other. And one last time, have everybody gather, have the greatest of times. And fucking no stops. You have a fucking full open bar, have a open table full of weed, just anything anybody would want that's in your party that they like, you have it there. psychedelics. You'll have fucking tents, fucking EDM DJ, a mariachi, a banda. Like, just go all out, bro. You know?
It's how I know you don't have kids.
Yeah, I don't have kids.
Well, also the best part is at the end, you get a call. It's midnight, and it's the doctor. Hey, we messed up. Read the results wrong. Turns out you have 12 years more to live.
Oh, you're getting sued for exactly $120,000. What the fucking party cost? Actually, let me throw in an additional 200. You're getting sued for $500,000. Settle for 250. Malpractice, motherfucker.
All day.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do?
That's true.
All right, just to keep this conversation going a little more, let me give you a situation I know that everybody's been in, myself included.
Okay.
And yourself included. You gotta take a shit so bad, but you're driving.
Oh, bro, like, you would think that I went to jail and I got violated because once I need to go, I need to go. That's like, it's gonna happen.
Have you ever been in that situation where you're like, bro, ass clenched, you're practically standing in your car, bro. You're not even, your ass is not in your seat, you're like violating every traffic law. And the only reason I come up with this idea is because I saw this like TikTok of this girl who was like, it was her birthday. Okay. She had to take a shit. She got pulled over because she was violating traffic laws because she had to take a shit. And then the cop pulls her over and she's crying. She's like, I gotta take a shit so bad. And then she takes off on the cop. The cop has to pull her over again. He's like, I'm gonna have to arrest you. But she's like, I have to take a shit.
I would have gotten out of the car and taken a shit instead of running away from the cop, first of all. Yeah. Right? Like, if I'm that girl. But to answer your question, like, I have literally, when you need to take a shit, like when you're at DEFCON 5, they're like
turtle right, peeking, you prairie dogging, everything is just about to come out.
100%. You got cold sweats coming down your back,
chills, the works.
100%. Like, you're legit going through contractions. You can start timing it, like they're getting closer. Like, this is happening, you know?
My water broke.
Bro, like, I am legit Jason Bourne when he gets shot and he's walking through the grocery. I will pull over somewhere. I'm walking through crowds and I'm grabbing bags. I'm grabbing something to wipe my ass with. I am gonna take a shit somewhere.
100%, dude. I agree with you. I'm gonna stop by at the nearest restaurant. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care where I'm going.
Store, restaurant. I'm stopping somewhere.
Yep.
And there's people out there that are like, no on public restrooms. Oh, dude, there's so many people like that. Me,
doesn't exist in my life.
I don't care. Obviously, I care about certain restrooms because they might be dirty, exactly. But in that situation, everything's out the door. I'm fucking popping a skull. I don't give a fuck. I'll take a shit in the aisle if I have to.
100%. Like, that is, I am 1,000% with you. There was a time that I was walking, when I had a dog, I was walking the dog with Edgar, one of my cousins.
Right.
I was this close. People can't see it. I mean, we're talking like this close to taking a shit in someone's yard. Because I almost went and knocked on their door and asked them if I could use their restroom.
You had to take a shit so bad.
I had to go so bad, and I was like, I'm not going to knock. I'm just going to take a shit on their yard. But then it happened where, like, between contractions, it stopped. As I was about to, like, all right, we're popping a squat here. Literally, it stopped, and I was like, oh, I got, like, 5 to 10 minutes. I better hurry, right? Because you stop being able to move adequately when you're that close to taking a shit, because any major movement might
spill a disaster.
Yeah, spill a disaster, break the seal, like, things are happening.
And that was Tony and Chewy with your immoral ad support.